Just please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. We will now have a roll call from the clerk.
Councilmember Archibald. Councilmember Haremza.
Here.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Mosrak.
Here.
Councilmember Payton.
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton.
Here.
Mayor Ashford.
Present. Council members, you have before you the minutes of April 28th. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Support?
It was moved by Councilmember Mosrak and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call. Carried. I don't know where I got roll call in there. Roll call.
Councilmember Haremza.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb.
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak.
Yes.
Councilmember Payton.
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton.
Yes.
Mayor Ashford.
Yes. Okay, and we will now move to presentations. Clerk.
Proclamation observing the week of May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as Police Week and May 15th, 2025 as Peace Officers Memorial Day will be presented to Police Chief Brian Kerrigan.
Yes, this is Brian. Can you meet me at the podium, please? Okay, proclamation, City of Port Huron, Michigan. It says, whereas the Congress and President John F. Kennedy signed Public Law 87-726 in 1962, designating May the 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week beginning on Sunday, in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas the law was amended by the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994, Public Law 103-322, signed by President William Jefferson Clinton, directing that the flag of the United States be displayed at half-staff on all government buildings on May the 15th each year. And whereas the members of the Port Huron Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedom of our city of Port Huron by unceasingly providing a vital public service. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize that their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the Port Huron Police Department will honor Detective Sergeant Roy Chamblaw. Did I pronounce that right?
Sounds good to me.
Chambly, who was killed in the line of duty on October 10th, 1930, and all officers who have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty by wearing warning bands for a 48-hour period beginning Thursday, May the 15th, 2025. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Anita R. Ashford, call upon citizens of the City of Port Huron and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the observances in which all our citizens may join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in so doing have established for themselves an inevitable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. And I further call upon the citizens of the City of Port Huron to observe Thursday, May the 15th, 2025 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of law enforcement service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty, and let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of all our fallen heroes. In witness whereof, I do by set my hand and cause the corporate seal of the city of Port Huron to be affixed this 12th day of May, 2025. Mayor Anita R. Usher. Thank you. Would you like to have a few words?
Sure. Well, Mayor Ashford, council members, city manager, we just want to thank you for the recognition and thank you for your continued support of the police department and the work that we do. So thank you.
Thank you again. God bless you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us tonight, I call him the people's rep, Representative Joseph Pavlo would like to bring us an update on behalf of his efforts with the Josh Conant ordinance that we passed a few meetings ago.
Thank you, Mayor Anita.
Thank you.
For those who don't know me, I'm Joe Pavlo from Smiths Creek. I represent you in 64th District in Lansing. Last time I was here, I mentioned about creating a law for Josh Conant so that that would not happen again. Since then, I've met his mom at the county luncheon that we had, and she wanted me to assure her that I was not going to drop this, not going to forget it. No, I won't do that. It is a priority. I'm allowed 5 bills per month, and the month of May was already filled up at that time when I spoke last time, but it is on the docket for June. And talking with your police chief, Brian, I learned that training to overcome positional asphyxiation is already done, so we don't need to include the police force in there, but we do need to write the bill for bouncers, running into a little bit of difficulty because we're finding that bouncers are not certified or trained or whatever. So we need to have our legal department work around that to figure out how we're going to write the bill so that we don't exclude anybody. So I just want everybody to know, and in particular Sandy in particular, that we are working on that, and as soon as we can, we will write that bill, and I'm sure it will be bipartisan, and I'm sure that it will have no difficulty passing. And if I could just mention one more thing, when I was in Lansing, I found that this part of the state is neglected big time. They don't know this part of the state, so I'm out to change that, and I'm working with City Manager Freed and Mayor Anita, and we're making a video to promote this area, and I'm going to share it with everybody in Lansing, and we have a big event coming up in Port Huron that I'm inviting everyone to, and we're even going to get it out to Lansing, or I'm sorry, to Washington through Lisa McLean's office. So people will know this area, and they're going to come over here and they're going to be a part of it. So when they do come, the representatives, the senators, the governor, whatever, please roll out the red carpet and welcome them with open arms. And thank you very much for your consideration. I have one more meeting after this. I just came from Grant Township, trying to get 3 meetings in tonight, so I won't be able to stay for the entire time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want to thank you, Representative Pavlov, for all that you're doing, carrying through on the Josh Conant, helping us, because it's not one person. We all got to do this all together.
Yes.
And also your efforts, I mean, your enthusiasm is just relentless.
Thank you.
Everywhere I'm going here, I say, well, Joe Pavlik been here. We're going to have us a big time in July. That's when they were going to come, right, in July, during the boat week?
When I was here last time, I mentioned that I had also lost a child, my daughter Jennifer, and so I reached out to Sandy and invited her to a meeting called Blue Water Hope. I don't know if anyone's aware of that, but I spoke at that the night before last, and it was a very good meeting. A lot of parents there who had lost children and struggling. So if anyone is in that situation, I would highly recommend that organization. Sarah, can't remember her last name now, who is the president of that organization. Very wonderful lady, and it was a great banquet.
Oh, okay.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. Now we will move on. We're into public hearings.
To hear comments on the proposed capital improvement program for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025.
Public hearing number 1 is open. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address public hearing number 1? You may take the podium and give your name and your address, please. Thank you.
My name is Elizabeth Kelly, and I reside at 3201 Yorkshire Drive in Port Huron Township. And I'm here to add to the Josh's amendment. I think you're doing a wonderful job, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my history. I was born in Port Huron, and I lived here until
Excuse me,
1980.
just a point of order here. This is a public hearing, and we're addressing a capital hearing program, so you probably want public audience. There's a time that you come to the podium.
Oh, so I don't
And this,
talk
no,
now.
this is public hearing.
Okay.
You're
Sorry.
okay, you just sit there and
First
come
time
back.
I've been to a meeting.
That's all right, you still at home, you just sit, well, you know what, that practice you got in, so you be all ready. Over here. Yeah, no, you're just fine, you really are. Okay, public hearing number 1. Is there anyone wishing to address the council? Going once, going twice, going 3. Public hearing number 1 is closed. Public hearing number 2.
To hear comments on the proposed 2025-2026 budget for the city of Port Huron.
Public hearing number 2 is now open. Open, and please, your name and your address, please.
Eileen Tesh, Algonac. I'm here on behalf of our friend and former council member Ken Harris regarding the recent budget. And he asked me to read this. He wasn't feeling well tonight. He wrote, in a past but recent budget, at least 5 department heads received increases from $14,000 to $29,000. Now roll up your sleeves and look at these raises proposed in the new budget. City Council increased $28,865. Assessor, $49,500. Income tax, $44,000. Human Resources, $48,000. Police Administration, $25,000. Detective, $154,846. Patrol, $615,619. Fire, $596,521. Inspection, $69,921. Public Works, $13,000. Planning, $47,000. Parks and Forestry, $117,000. Just to name a few. He says this is definitely going to impact the Port Huron residents, especially those on fixed incomes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to address public hearing number 2? Hearing and seeing none, public hearing number 2 is now closed. Public hearing number 3?
To hear comments on the tentative budget for the Port Huron Downtown Development Authority for the fiscal year 2025-2026.
Public hearing number 3 now open. Do we have anyone wishing to address public hearing number 3? Hearing and seeing none, I declare public hearing number 3 closed. So now is the time, it is our public hearing, and during the public hearing, if anyone in the audience wishes to address the city council on any agenda item or any matter under the city's jurisdiction, now is the time to do so. You are allotted 1 4-minute opportunity to make your comments. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address for the board.
Good evening, Scott Farquhar, self-proclaimed Mayor of Black River, 1039 Water Street. What I came here tonight to do is to compliment the City Council, Mayor James Freed, or City Manager James Freed, and you, Mayor Ashford. And a special thanks to Conrad and to James. Without Conrad's support, I'm not going to try and name everyone that got involved this year, because I'll forget somebody. Maybe he can help me out later on or whatever and name all the participants. But the Black River cleanup this year was an absolute huge success. We had more participants than we have ever. And everybody had a good time. It really showed the pride that people have in the city of Port Huron. If it wasn't for City Manager Freed, you know, he takes a lot of beating, but part of bringing this back was him being able to secure the staff at Riverside Drive to pull out those big logs and make it safe for everyone. So thank you, James, for that. We're looking at already setting the date for next year. And it's a great thing. It makes me very, very proud that it's coming back. Conrad and I did a little radio spot, you know, with Paul Miller, and it brought back some memories to me. I can remember as a child back in 1972 when it was a big city event, going out with my father, who you know, also was employed with the city of Port Huron. It's coming back, and again, I just want to say thank you, and you're all invited next year. We've already set the date, the 9th of whatever month it is, the 9th of May. I've been working a lot. And not to bring up a sore subject, but I'm going to. So being out on the Black River, we got to stay on top of doing something for some water flow. I don't care. And when I say water flow, that is why the canal was put in there, is to keep the water clean. I've heard scuttlebutt of people that are going to be on top of doing water testing. All you have to do is take a water sample over to the county building to Michigan State, and they will check it. I'd hate to have someone standing here and say that water's polluted. There's still stuff coming down it with that flow. You know, the solution to pollution is dilution, and that's what it does. But again, thank you. I wasn't here to cause a thing, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fargo. Is there anyone else in the audience wishing to address? Okay.
Again, Elizabeth Kelly at 3201 Yorkshire Drive, Port Huron Township. And a little bit about my history and why I would like you to make an amendment on something that you are looking forward to, which is a great deal, but I think it needs to go further. In 1971, I bartended at the Moose, Fidel's Bar, the Roach Bar, when it was a family bar. And I put my way through college until I got an education and moved to teach in Grand Rapids and moved back to Detroit in 1993. And then I started to teach here at Helen Woods until I retired in 2014. I had a house right here, not far from here, and I sold it in the year 2000. I'm here because of the concern that I have for all bar owners, all bartenders, all waitresses, waiters, anybody who works, bar owners with alcohol. I believe what you're doing with getting the bouncers to go through training, but the Liquor Commission back when I was bartending had a terrific training for everyone. And I think anybody who touches alcohol and gives it to the public, because it's not just the bouncer's fault. Those people got inebriated somewhere. And I think you make the amendment for that anybody who works with alcohol or owns an establishment goes through the state's Liquor Commission training. So I would like to maybe see if you would adjourn that a little bit further instead of just to the bouncers. Because recently I was sitting someplace and I heard, well, the police, not so much the city of Port Huron, but any police officer knows where to sit and pick up people when they're inebriated because certain bartenders can overpour. That really concerned me. Because you do see them downtown here a lot, you know. But so that concerns me, and there's great ways of learning to cut people off or how to treat somebody who's inebriated besides sending them out the door and beating them up.
Thank you very much, Ms. Elizabeth. That's a great point. We'll take that under advisement.
Hi, my name's Lori Irwin. I live at 3522 Conger. Two things. First of all, I might be way off base, but my water bill, I just have a couple of questions about it because I'm paying $14 a month for water, and almost $60 a month for sewer. And I'm not quite sure if the sewer is paying off a loan or why that would be so high. That's pretty critical, and it's like that for everybody. The other concern I have, and James is aware of this, as is everybody in our neighborhood, but I would like to invite you to my beach between Memorial Day and Labor Day and try to have a conversation with me. Because there are so many boats parked on the sandbar that are playing their music so loud that I cannot have a conversation with people on my beach. And we are one of the highest tax neighborhoods in Port Huron, and I don't know if there's anything anybody can do about it. I've gone out and talked to people and have had people follow me back to my house to confront me about that. So, you know, it's a big concern to pay that much tax and not be able to talk to people that come to visit you, so. And then the sewer, I don't know, what is that extra money? What are we paying for? Is it the connection or the separation or
Lord,
what is
we'll
it?
get back with you. We don't usually go back and forth during this time. We're in a listening mode, but we will address it after the meeting.
I'm sorry?
We don't usually go back and forth, but we will address it after the meeting.
Well, I'm old, I go back and forth, so.
Oh, okay. That's all right, but we'll make sure you get your explanation.
Yeah, I just don't quite understand
Yes, no.
that, and
You
I'm
will.
sure that somebody will explain it to me
Yeah,
sooner or later, so.
no, it'd be
Just
very
my
soon.
concerns, I wanted you to know.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Farquhar, 19th Avenue. I'm here to talk about chickens again.
It's okay.
To tend a garden is to believe in tomorrow. To keep a hen is to gather hope each morning. So I've given you all a lot of information. I do feel, Madam Mayor, that you haven't read any of the information that I've given you. Because
I have.
of the things that you said last time, though, made it clear that you didn't read it or comprehend it, because the questions and concerns that you have, we have come here and given you those answers. We have given you the information. We have told you why having chickens in Port Huron would be beneficial to Port Huron. And you still said last week, or 2 weeks ago, what's the benefit to Port Huron? It's self-sufficiency, it's education, it's so much more that we've come in here and said again and again and again. The other thing is, you said on the radio that you didn't believe that chickens belonged in the city. Out of 100 of the largest cities in America, in the United States of America to be precise, 93% of those cities allow chickens. 93%. So, and that was 2011. Since 2011, there's been a massive move of cities taking their ordinances back and allowing chickens to come back into the cities because they do belong in the cities. I had given you, when I first started this conversation, a really nicely written ordinance that included permitting, which other cities have done. The city attorney's ordinance was great. It really was. I believe, from what I can understand, that what he looked into was the ordinance that other cities started out with, and then the things that they've changed. And that's the ordinance that we seem to have. Because a lot of these cities, they had more stricter ordinances in place, and then over time, they've lessened those restrictions. Such as Ann Arbor, such as Grand Rapids, and all these other cities in our state and our country that have found this to be okay to do and beneficial to the people and beneficial to the city. So I do ask you guys to bring this back up, vote on it again, and listen to the people who have come before you. Everyone who was in this meeting, the last few meetings, nobody came to this podium and said, no, I don't want chickens. Yes, you've heard a few from people, but even Mr. Conrad said 2/3 of the people he heard from were for chickens in Port Huron. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, don't let this become with the wheat shops, the same situation with the wheat shops. If you guys don't act, we citizens will act. And whoever gets something to the table first, I hope I do, because I'll stick with the city attorney's suggestions. But if somebody else brings it first, we might have cows. We might have pigs. This is giving you guys a chance to put this in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Farquhar, 19th Avenue. That was the nice end of it. This is going to be not the nice end of it, because you threw me out of last meeting, remember, Mayor? But, so, here's the whole deal. I sit here as an embarrassed member of the city of Port Huron, okay? We have 2 elected officials and 1 appointed. Remember appointed, Bob, because those 2 meetings you missed, I promised you that, remember? You're going to miss the next one after the elections, too, because you won't have a seat. Anything that we can get 2 of the furthest members from council on to sit together and agree upon, and then you guys, between the 3 of you that voted no, use the words I, and then I believe you lied, because there's no way to FOIA phone calls, Bob. But every email, everybody that stood up here, everybody that contacted council every other way was 3-1 in favor, except for your phone calls, which I find ludicrous and asinine, okay? So I'll publicly call you a liar tonight. But when we can get Miss Payton and Mr. Pemberton together on the same page, respectfully, and together on something that the residents, we're going to shoot low and say 60% of residents, because 3-1 or 2/3 is really close to 60% of the residents. That's enough to pass the ballot initiative, right? Mr. Freed, before it spoke about dark money coming in with the weed shops and whatnot. Do you not think that there's farmers and families that want to live sustainable in the city of Port Huron? You actually, a young girl came up here and stood last week and said she was looking for a home in the city of Port Huron, and being able to be sustainable was one of the reasons that one of the things she was looking for. Her and her daughter stood here, you Mayor Ashford, you Councilmember Mosrak, and Mayor Pro Tem Archibald all told them that you guys don't want them to live in the city. You sat here and turned away somebody from moving into the city, and you're scared about growth? You call yourself the people's mayor, right? You ran to be the people's mayor. Let's do what the people want. 60% of the people you heard from. Because you don't understand something, it gets said no. Because you don't understand it. I tell you what you also don't understand. You don't understand Robert's rules. Because these meetings, they're ran like a joke. You literally had a vote last week that went through before you had a motion to have the vote. And then you guys had the motion after, and you're sitting there rolling your eyes because you don't even remember it happening. I'll send you the email. But I'm going to get a response that says, thanks for your consideration, just a little thing, because you don't read them. It's an embarrassment. It's literally an embarrassment. You sit here, you ask for the residents' input, you don't understand how it happened. It happened because we, the residents, had a conversation with 3 council members. One of the council members that said no asked the city manager and the city attorney to draft an ordinance. That was your time to schedule a discussion that you guys wanted to have. You guys didn't have it. 5 of you voted on board, 1 of you voted no, and then 2 of you switched in the 9th hour. Because you're cowards, and you won't stand up for the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Farquhar, for those comments. Anyone else wishing to address the city council this evening?
Hello, Mayor, hello, Council. B. Williams, 15th Street. Hope everybody doing well today. Thank y'all for being here.
Yeah.
I want to just say this first. I know that I'm just used to pointing people out, but I know Councilmember Payton can't do anything if she's by herself, without the support of her team. I know Councilmember Pemberton can't do anything without his team, so I wouldn't put blame on any one specific person. I know it's a group effort. But I want to reach out to the council members and the mayor the office for following up with my concerns that I had a few weeks here, and let y'all know I really appreciate y'all. I feel like I was heard and I was listened to, and not only that, but I was reached back out to in less than a week. So I really appreciate. I want to thank y'all all for being here tonight, and thank y'all for doing that for me. I want to kind of follow up where I left off last week with Mr. James, the city manager. I don't know this person personally. We have never had a conversation, so I can't say who he is as a personal person or nothing like that, but I can say that, in my personal opinion, I feel like this man is disrespectful and doesn't care about anyone. No, not as far as the citizens. I know we got a short-term memory, but I want to remind everybody it was not just too long ago where we were just all in the news when this city manager showed the disrespect and the disdain that he had for this newly and duly elected mayor that we all just voted for, when he got up and stormed off the stage. And if he has that type of respect for our mayor, I want y'all to imagine the type of respect he has for the everyday average citizen. You know, I sat here, I couldn't make a rebuttal last week because we can't talk after the public comment is done, but I sat here and watched him come up here and say his only constitutional duty to us is the budget, to make the budget. And he ain't say nothing about our happiness, he ain't say nothing about our well-being, he ain't say nothing about our safety. He said our only budget is the happiness, and then turned around and looked at us, the public, and said, hey, it's y'all money, y'all call me whenever y'all want to call me. You know, it doesn't matter, as arrogantly or, and I don't want to name call again, I'm not here to attack this person, but as arrogantly or ignorantly as he could possibly say it, and then turn around and look at the board and the mayor and say, I hope y'all got y'all budget together while y'all finalizing things, as disrespectful as I feel like he could possibly be. I came in here and voiced my concerns a couple weeks ago about some things that I was personally dealing with, and I don't want to make it about me, but I just wanted to make a reference and let the council and the mayor know that after 2.5 years and a city council meeting with the head of the police department sitting right here in the room with us, I still have yet to receive a follow-up phone call, you know, about anything that's going on after making reports to the police department. I feel like I don't want to say nobody's name because I don't have anybody's permission to use their name, and I'm gonna not use it because I don't have their permission. But I feel like it's civilians inside this city, even if they might not be physically here, that I can get more help from, and that I have more faith and confidence in than I have in this police department. I'm not screaming. I'm not one of the people screaming, take all their money away. We don't need no police. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, again, and I don't want to be the dead cat, but we need some oversight. I don't want to have to come in here again a year from now like, hey, I told y'all so next time something happened, or next time we in the news for something that's going on. And when I talk to other outside agencies, everybody always tell me, oh, we know. So I'm trying to figure out how do all these other agencies, law enforcement agencies, civilian agencies, everybody know, but nobody in the city seems to know or understand what's going on. And again, this is not a personal attack on anybody. I just want somebody to kind of look into it. And I know this ain't the back and forth, but again, I want to thank y'all for being here tonight.
Your time is up.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much for your comments. Do we have anyone else in the audience wishing to address the city council?
Eileen Tesh, Algonac, this is from our friend and former city council member, Ken Harris, regarding the mayor's request for a review of the city manager, James Freed. He sent all of you the resolution from 2007 that the city council has the right to request a review. And with the money being paid to James Freed, approximately $200,000, that a meeting should be set and the public should be heard. Secondly, there is a request now from our friends at DTE. They are asking for another roughly $500 million rate increase. They just got a $175 million rate increase in January. This increase, the deadline to object is May 16th. And the reason for their request for this increase is so that they can provide the public with better services. They removed, last year, they shut off over 150,000 residents' utility, their power, because they couldn't afford to pay their bills. And now, if this rate increase goes through, it will be another $165 on top of their energy bill. So I would ask everyone to seriously find out about this request and make your objections known. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anyone else?
Brianna Farquhar, 19th Avenue, 2417. I'm just coming up here about the chicken incident. I'm with my mom. If we can get another ordinance about this, and if all of the city councils members were here, all of them, we could probably have chickens passed. Because with the cost of eggs right now, it would be helpful and it would be benefit to all of the people of Port Huron. And I just feel like that we should just have chickens, because I feel like animals help me with emotional things, and so I feel like they would just help the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Do we have anyone else coming before the council this evening?
Hi, Marcus Taylor, 3148 Gratiot Avenue. I just wanted to get up here to say I have a lot of my own feelings, but I understand how difficult this job is. I can see what you guys have to go through. I understand where the citizens come from. I've been super enthusiastic to come to the meetings. It's super cool to be involved in the city in that way, and just to see what the people bring forward and what you guys bring forward to it. I've noticed since the first day, I guess I didn't realize how much divisiveness there is, and a lot of people holding personal grudges, which I think gets in the way of actual progress. That said, I can't speak for their pain and the things that they've dealt with. So, it's easy for me to say, as my wife would tell you, I am almost toxically positive all the time. So we're figuring out a good balance there. But one thing that stuck with me, and I wanted to bring it up because I think the way forward is figuring out how to speak to each other with the most respect possible, and maintaining that your position, as much as it's full of strife and challenge from your residents, and it's very full of strife, I can see that already. When we say things like, and not to pile on, but when we say things like, if we get chickens, what's next, cows? I think it brings an air of it's ludicrous that the people would even want chickens. I think the attitude was similar to the weed dispensaries. That same idea could be like, well, we're going to get a weed shop. What are we going to get? Heroin on the streets next? We're just selling it on the corner? No, that's not what anybody's talking about. We're realistic and we are responsible citizens. And unfortunately, nobody that had a problem really made themselves present here as your constituents who want something for the city. So the people that were here, they're just as real as this figment of people that say, hey, I don't want that. But they didn't make the time to come and fill these seats. They didn't make the time to come up here and stand and give you their feelings on the matter. And I just truly hope for everybody that we keep that on the docket, and that's something that we continue to consider. And overall, that we're all citizens of Port Huron here, and that respect over everything will get us to the places that we want to be. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to come before the Port Huron City Council this evening? Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming forth, and always remember this is your council, your city, and we appreciate all the input. And we've got a secretary; she takes it under advisement. Everything that's down here, and we will be getting back with you, Lori, on your issue there to help you understand it a little bit more better. So this closes our our public hearing, and now we will let's see.
Consent agenda.
Yeah, consent agenda. Now we will hear from the consent agenda. Would you read that?
Need a motion.
You need a motion? Okay.
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Mosrach and
Support.
supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any
Mayor
discussion?
Ashford, that was Councilmember Pemberton that made the motion.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Sounded like you. Okay, I repeat that. And it was second by, is it Lamb, correct? Okay. Councilmember Pemberton and second by Councilmember Lamb. Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Okay. We have one item under our,
Take the vote.
yeah, take the roll.
Okay. Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrach?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hurenza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. That's enough to get you off track. Under communications and petitions, we have received and filed notification from the Michigan Liquor Control Commission that an application has been received to transfer ownership of a 2025 Class C license in Tequila LLC located at 321 Huron. And then under resolutions, we have one item, and that is confirming, we have two, confirming and approving single lot of special assessments for fines, assessments, and/or the cost of removing blighting factors and/or causes of blight, as well as the abatement of nuisance. Number 5, approving the qualified license establishments Tequila LLC, 321 Huron Avenue, and to the Port Huron Social District, and recommending applicants be approved by the Michigan Liquor Control Commission. And that is your consent agenda. We have any discussion on it before we call for the roll or anything?
We already called for the roll.
Okay.
Yep,
Take-
we're all set.
Okay, we're all set. Okay, from the city manager.
We'll do your item first. Okay. The request.
Oh, the request, okay.
Right here, okay?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, we had revision in the agenda, and I got 2 agendas up here that I have. We have something added. Okay, so the request from the city council, the request is from myself, Ms. Mayor Ashford, for a discussion to initiate a performance review on the city manager. So is there a motion? Okay, hearing no motion on the request on the discussion of the performance review of the city manager, then that automatically, by Robert's rules, I know my Robert's rules, hearing none, then that fails. So that means that we will not be discussing the city manager's evaluation process under this item. But I will have an explanation after this meeting in my comments. We move on to communications and petitions, please.
We'll go to from the city manager, okay?
Oh, from the city manager, okay, from the city manager. And then we will go to communications and petitions.
Accepting the bid from Microwise in the amount of $35,332 for the purchase of a video wall for use by McMorran Place.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Mosrach, supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
just point of order, I previously said I had to leave at 6:45. I have a neighborhood town hall with about 100 residents waiting for me, so I'm going to jettison just a few minutes early, and so.
Oh, okay.
So, as well as public know.
All right.
Clear with council first and the boss.
Okay, have a nice meeting. Okay, so is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, call the vote, please.
Councilmember Mosrach?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Hurenza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. From the city manager, 2, please.
Receive and file the quarterly financial report for the 9-month period ending March 31st, 2025.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Lamb and supported by Councilmember Pemberton. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Now we will be moving to resolutions.
Authorizing 17 payments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Pemberton and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Okay, is there any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution 2.
Adopting a revised schedule of fees effective May 12, 2025 for various sections of the Code of Ordinances and other user-specific fees.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support?
Moved by Councilmember Mosrak and supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Resolution number 5.
Authorizing McMorran Place Commission to request funds from the Community Foundation of St. Clair County in the amount of $14,462 for the McMorran Fund to be utilized for the purchase and installation of a new video wall for use by the McMorran Theater.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Support.
Well, it's been moved by Mosrak and been seconded by Councilmember Pemberton, okay? Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. Okay, now we will be moved to ordinances.
Second reading and enactment. An ordinance to amend Chapter 24, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2, Fire Prevention Code of the Port Huron Code of Ordinances for the purpose of adopting the 2021 International Fire Code and for future versions to be automatically adopted to coincide with Building Code.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there, moved by Councilmember Pemberton, is there a second to that?
Support?
Supported by Councilmember Lamb. Any discussion on that ordinance? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Peyton?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Haremza?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Ashford?
Yes. That's it.
That's it.
Motion carried. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this officially ends our formal or official agenda. And I just want to say after this, in regards to the request of the city council, the city councils move not to have any vote going towards a performance review. That actually came by innocently. As the mayor, the new mayor, I usually get a calendar of things that I would have to attend to take care of in order to be prepared to execute whatever is part of my job. That's what you do. So I actually called for a meeting with the city clerk, who is my right hand and supposed to be there.
Mayor Ashford, just a point of order.
I'm not recognizing you right now, I'm speaking.
I'm calling a point of order.
I'm not recognizing you right now, I'm speaking.
By the rules, it's a point of order.
Just hold on a minute. still can, as I'm speaking, the chair.
We do have Todd here.
Yeah, we have Todd, and I got it too, and I am speaking.
The city council does have rules of procedure, and if you look at Rule 13, which is entitled Point of Order,
There we are.
says when a member believes the rules are not being followed, a member may demand the ruling of the chair, and the chair shall promptly rule and enforce the rules if appropriate. And then it says the chair's ruling at a point of order may be appealed to the entire body.
So in other words, either way, if he does, he has the votes, because if you appeal from the entire body, then
Yeah,
entire body.
so he's raising a point of order
Right.
on the rules, so he should be allowed to express what he believes that rule violation is, and
And then I would take
then you make the
on that.
ruling on whatever issue he's raised.
Mm-hmm.
And if the council as a whole doesn't believe your ruling is proper, then they have a right as a whole to vote to overturn that ruling if they disagree with it.
And we all know where that's gonna go tonight, because if you overturn it, it's the same council. Okay, well, we'll follow that. Okay, thank you very much. You may now speak.
You failed to get a motion for the request, so it can't be discussed at this time. This is time for announcements, not a time to discuss it. It didn't come to the table. It's not on the table, so it can't be discussed.
Well, I'm not at announcements, I'm at the end of the meeting. I'm
And-
doing announcements.
But the meeting
last
is
part.
still
No, the
taking
meeting-
place.
The meeting has taken place, and this is after the meeting.
The meeting has not been adjourned.
No, it hasn't been adjourned, but that portion of the meeting is closed.
That
The
item
official-
cannot
the
be
official
talked
agenda-
about.
The official agenda is finished. There's no
You
more there.
you are free to ask Mr. Shouty. That agenda item cannot be discussed if it has not been voted. That's the whole point of why we vote to bring things to the table,
I know it, but after the meeting is over with, I can say.
which is
what
after
I-
adjournment.
that- Okay, well, we'll delay it till after adjournment, but I'm gonna say what I have to say.
It's not appropriate.
It may not be appropriate, but it's well within, so if you
It's
want
not,
to,
though.
well, then you just have to leave out or whatever, but I'm gonna have my say, okay? Okay. So the announcements, we'll play this game, we'll just go ahead and go through this, because life is too short for what is happening. Okay, under the announcements, you have a special meeting to discuss the budget will be held on Tuesday, May the 13th at 6 p.m. in the conference room in 408. So that's upstairs, and you might want to come to that, because the budget is one thing that this council is definitely responsible for, how we spend your money and what we need to do to keep Port Huron financially stable. So I encourage all our people to, if you have time at 6 o'clock, room 408, here at the City Hall. Number 2, the city will be closed on May the 26th in observance of Memorial Day. The next city council meeting will be held on Tuesday, May the 27th. And the third announcement is the city's beautification commission is in need of volunteers to assist with preparing various flowered beds for the season on Saturday, May 17th, and they want you to meet in front of the courthouse at 9 a.m., and that's if anybody is interested.
Mayor Ashford, if I may?
Oh, sure.
I would like to make an announcement. My brother Jeff Payton sold the Vintage Tavern today. So he will be staying on as a consultant until the end of the year, but if you could kindly not ask him about the restaurant anymore, it'll lower his blood pressure. So many people have asked, but it has been a community-wide, I can't tell you how many people have asked me and stopped me in the store, so I thought I would let you know here.
Well, congratulations to Jeff.
Congratulations to him. Okay. And any more announcements? I think it's already been said, but I would like to commend Councilmember Comrade. That was a great job over the weekend doing the Black River, and I went by there and called, but after I looked at it from the car, I said, I don't have a boat. I was watching you guys doing all that work, and I had talked to you. You were nice enough to text me back, And then also on Friday, we had RISA, the kids, we're cleaning up downtown Port Huron. They were planting flowers throughout downtown, and they did a wonderful job. We had at least, about 75 strong out there, kids from over at RISA, and we also had the help of the Blue Water Recovery community that came and helped us to plant flowers to make our downtown look great and everything. So,
Mayor Ashford?
yes.
It's just, you made me think that due to the good weather was a lot of it, but the farmer's market on Saturday, opening day, was a huge success. I walked over and I was just amazed how many people were out and how many vendors were there. So hopefully everybody will visit that on Saturdays.
It was a lot happening. Okay. And I think, what else happened? I mentioned Lisa, the DDA, and the Black River cleanup. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff going on this weekend. So, just stay, close to your community and doing what all you can to help make a difference in our community. Okay, so now I have to finish where I got left off here. I just wanted to say, we have a calendar. The mayor has a calendar. There's certain
Mayor
things
Ashford,
that...
the meeting still hasn't been adjourned.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Is there... Wait a minute. The meeting hasn't been adjourned? I know I adjourned, I asked for that, but after we went through all that. Yeah, so the motion, okay. So if they adjourn and then they get to leave?
Yeah, so the normal procedure is for an adjournment, there would be a motion to end the meeting. Ultimately, as I indicated before, the city council controls the agenda.
Yeah, okay, we know what that's all about.
So the council as a whole controls the agenda. City manager can put together agenda. You can reject it, pick your own agenda, but ultimately, city council controls the agenda. So now you're at the end of your agenda. If someone wants to make a motion at this time on some other issue, they can before the meeting's adjourned. But to adjourn the meeting, you should have a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and I know that. Okay, but I just want the people to know that the city council do not control the agenda. The agenda is controlled by the city manager. And so what you're seeing here tonight is the very reason you don't trust city government. You put these things in place and you stage it. And I know it's efforts to try to make me look bad or whatever. You don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. Give me a break. But some of this is just childish, and we need to get over it. We really do. I love my city too much. I wouldn't be here all these years if I wasn't concerned about the city of Port Huron. But some of these antics and this child play, and that's just what it is. So I'm going to do the right thing. I always try to do the right thing. But this won't go too far. This kind of behavior and these kind of, I don't even know what you call them. Columbo can't even think of nothing this crazy. But it's concerning. It's very concerning, the way we put ourselves in. But you know what? When you put stuff out there and you act in this manner, it comes back to get you one way or the other. And I'm going to continue to be the best mayor I can of the city of Port Huron. We all don't have to agree. But you have to remember why you're here and who put you here. You're elected by the people, and we are. To work for the people, not for somebody. And you can get away with this kind of stuff because you have people up here following that kind of a lead. So I'm just going to trust in somebody bigger than me, to step in and do what he does best. So, is there a motion that we end the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Meeting closed.